hi everyone. I'm Heather Paris of liveinspirednow.com and welcome to this evening. This is my husband, Thad Paris, also of liveinspirednow.com, who's got his fancy hat on tonight, so we're super excited about that. And he used his mustache wax, so that's pretty fancy. So I wanted I wanted to talk about kids and what we can do to empower them. Listen, there's so much going on in the world right now, so many influences beyond our own influence that can really derail kids. And if we don't do things to empower them, it's just going to trip them up, right?
Absolutely.
So I wanted to go over some strategies this evening that you can use to empower your kids. Now, between us, we have 10 kids. So I have 3 biological kids. He has 3 kids. And then we took in 4 kids that didn't belong to either one of us over the years.
We've been busy.
Yes, and now we're down to 2. So we, out of all those 10, we have 2 still left at home. They're both seniors, his and mine, so they're not twins. One's his, one's mine. But they're both seniors and they're graduating this year. So we have been through it all. I have been actively parenting for 24 years. So besides being the best-selling author of Live Inspired Now, as well as we own the brand Live Inspired Now Wellness, Live Inspired Now Coaching, we also raise kids, right? And dogs.
We've got a little experience in the category.
Yes, we've got a lot of experience. So tonight we want to talk to you, and we're not going to keep it long, hopefully 20 minutes, probably 30 if I know me, because I do tend to talk a lot. But we want to give you some really practical strategies that you can use every single day that's gonna really empower your kids. So should we get started?
Let's dive right in.
You want to tell them what our mission is?
Sure. Our mission is to, I always forget it when I'm on camera.
It's all right.
Our mission is to improve social, emotional, and mental wellness in families through the education of individuals, parents, and children.
Absolutely. Parents, you guys are really, truly the best advocate for your child. Your child is their own best advocate, or we're going to show you how they can be. But really, it's up to you to advocate for your kids. And the first thing that I want to tell you is that sometimes you have to be okay being the asshole. So I have been the asshole many times with teachers, over the years. I've had to do that. And it's doesn't feel very good.
Right.
And it's sometimes yucky feeling, but
yeah, I don't know if this is on topic or not, but there's a difference between being an asshole parent in a good way and a bad way, right? So if you're
I'm talking about being an asshole with people that aren't willing to do what's right for your kids.
Exactly. Standing up for your kids and what's right for them without being a hover parent.
Without enabling. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. So, exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
So, you're right on top of it.
Right on.
High five.
Yay.
So some of the things that our kids are facing, it's not just bullying, it's peer pressure, it's drugs. If you think there's no drugs in your kid's school, you're absolutely wrong. I don't care who you are or where your kid goes to school, they are there. And if your kid isn't brave enough to walk away from it, or if your leverage with your child isn't strong enough or stronger than the drug dealers, your kid's going to be in big trouble. And even if you have the best, most well-adjusted, loving child in the whole wide world, guess what? They're going to school with kids that aren't. Okay? They're going to school with kids that are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally abused or void, or have a serious lack, right?
Right. So saying that is just to encourage you to educate and empower your kids rather than shelter them, because no matter how well they're treated at home and how great their home life is, they're going to go out there and they're going to be faced with these challenges. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have any exposure to this emotional intelligence, they're not going to know what to do in those situations.
Exactly, because they're going to come across somebody that's going to be horrible to them or treat them badly or come across a situation that they don't know how to handle.
Right.
And it might not even be with peers. Sometimes it's with teachers. And I say that with all the love in my heart for teachers, because my best friends are teachers and I love teachers and I know some really amazing teachers. But I also know some that haven't been super awesome.
Well, yeah, they're no different than any other person. If they haven't learned it, they don't know it. And
right.
until
And
we
unfortunately, the schools aren't taking care of the teachers either. So the teachers are burnt out. They're stressed out. You know, they might have like, 20 great kids in their class, but then they have one or two that just rake them over the coals and grind their last nerve, and really they become impatient and frustrated. I see it every single day, not just in schools, but with parents and teachers and my friends and on Facebook. I mean, you don't have to look very far to see a stressed out teacher, So
That's true.
They're doing the best that they can, but that doesn't always mean that it's the best for your kid either.
That's right. And they need our help.
That's right.
They need your help.
That's
they
right.
need your kids' help.
Oh my God. The best thing, if you want to give a teacher a gift, never mind a little trinket, never mind a Christmas gift, never mind a jar, cookie mix in a jar.
Ooh,
If you want to,
love those things.
I know that was really good. And we did do that one year. But anyway, if you want to give your teacher a really amazing gift, discipline your kid. Discipline your kid at home so that they'll behave in the classroom. That's the best gift that you could ever give a teacher. And I'm sure that teachers, if you're a teacher, just, shout out, yeah, I'm a teacher in the comments. We'd love to
shout out to the teachers.
Shout out to the teachers. What? And if you're an amazing teacher, say that too. I'm an amazing teacher.
We have plenty of those.
Yes, we do. We know some really amazing teachers. So let's get into some of the strategies, shall we?
Absolutely.
So the first one that I want to talk about is one that really promotes grit, right? And that's encouraging without enabling. Now, like you had mentioned before already, being a hover parent, this is the difference, right?
Yeah.
A hover parent enables. In other words, they do everything for the kid. They don't allow the kid to do anything. Whereas a parent that's coaching, because this is what we want to do, we want to coach our kids, is encouraging. Like, in other words, don't do their homework. Let the kids do it. And if they don't do it, let them suffer the natural consequences.
Yeah, there are consequences already put in place for
Yeah,
not
you
getting
don't have
homework
to
done.
do that. You don't have to give them timeouts or like grounding or any of that stuff if they don't do their homework. That's their responsibility. Let the teachers either fail them or give them detention or whatever their natural consequences are going to be.
Yeah, it's a huge relief for parents too when
Right.
you realize that you don't have to help your kids with homework. Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes all the stress out of your evening.
Absolutely.
And it encourages your kids to pay attention in school to get the assignment right.
Yeah.
Because if they go in the next day and say, well, I didn't get it done because I didn't remember what the assignment was,
It's all on
chances
them.
are they're going to learn how to remember what the assignment was.
Exactly. It's all on them. And if they fail, so what? They fail.
And you don't have to spend your evening digging through, I don't know, what's the latest tool they got now where parents can check their assignments.
I hate homework. I haven't looked at homework in years.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you really quickly, my oldest daughter, Madison, I used to stress about like her grades and her doing her work and all of that. And I realized that didn't work. It just wasn't working. So finally I just said, that's it. I'm not doing any of it. It's your responsibility. Why the hell am I, what's the word I'm looking for? Like killing our relationship.
Stressing.
You know what I mean? Stressing our relationship, mother-daughter relationship over grades. It's not my damn responsibility. So I said, that's it. I'm hands off. Went completely hands off. She did fail. She failed. So one year she failed. She had to go to summer school. And I said, oh, that's sucky. Well, good luck with that. And she's like, well, you'll have to drive me. Here's my schedule. I'm like, oh, I'm not driving you. Absolutely not.
Right.
And I refused. I'm not going to drive her to summer school because she didn't do the work the first time. That's on her. So she learned very quickly that mom was not screwing around. She did not go to summer school because she didn't have a driver's license yet. And she had to retake that whole entire course the next year in school.
Yeah, so she doubled up the next
She
year.
had to double up because I'm not doing it. Because my relationship means more to me than their grades. And we have an amazing relationship, but it did not feel very good to like constantly yell and lecture and all that shit. Just doesn't work anyway. My parents tried to do that with me for everything. They lectured, they bribed, they threatened, they pleaded, they begged, they rewarded, they took away. None of that worked. I hated school, so I didn't do well.
Yeah.
So
I've got scars to prove it too. No, I'm just kidding.
So you want to encourage instead of enabling. That goes right into allowing kids to fail and then fix it themselves. So just like with Madison, she wasn't able to fix it because she didn't have a driver's license. She wasn't able to get to school because we didn't live close. We live in a rural area. So she fixed it by taking that class and doubling up the next year. Very simple.
Yeah, so you can sum all that up with one easy phrase.
What can you do to fix this? Or how are you going to fix it? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was...
No, save the next one for the next one. If they make a mistake, if they spill something, if they, whatever, don't yell and scream. Just say, okay, well.
What can we do next?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? That's what I like to say a lot. What are you going to do about it? Oh, and not, what are you going to do about it? Not like that, because that's totally different. But, oh, I see you've got a challenge. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to handle that?
Right.
What's next? Right? Something like that. Allow them to fix it. That comes to our next one. Go ahead. I'll let you say it. This is our mantra in life, and I make sure that every single parent that I work with, everyone I work
so
with
huge. If you
has
learn
to know this mantra.
If you learn this and use it reliably, it's a total game changer in the parenting world.
100%.
And that is,
go ahead.
I know you can handle it. Let me know if you need help.
I know you can handle it, but let me know if you need help. Total game changer. You say that to your kid. Number one, you give them the responsibility to handle it. Number two, you show them that you have confidence and faith in their ability.
Right.
And number three, they get to figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kids are pretty ingenious.
I'm
going to
put that in the notes and in the comments so that people remember it. But you keep talking.
Yeah, so kids, when left to their own devices, are pretty creative and will come up with solutions. It's really when we jump in with our expectations of how we think they should handle the problem, or forcing our ideas onto them as a solution, that's when we really start getting in trouble. And that's what kids really get frustrated with, because they have their own ideas and they have their own approaches to things. And generally, as long as their solution is not going to cause harm to them or to others, it's reasonable for them to try that. And there's going to be some that you know from experience that don't work and won't work. But until they try that for themselves, they're not going to accept that it didn't work for you.
Exactly. Just
and it's okay.
Let the kids do it. And they may make a choice that doesn't work. That's okay. Oh, I see that one didn't work. What's next? What are you going to try next? They know that they have you there if they need help, like as their safety net or what have you, which is what parents are essentially. Let me tell you something. This isn't in the notes. Once they hit 13, once they hit puberty, 13 is not a magic number, it's just roughly 13. Once they hit puberty, your influence is over. They don't care what you have to say anymore, right? Your job at that point is just simply to be a safety net.
Right.
You don't own them. You can't force them into, becoming a doctor or a lawyer, what have you. You're just there. Once they go through puberty, you're just a safety net. That's it. So you got to get all your influence before that. And we talk about that in coach training. I'm not going to go into that tonight, but we do have
bonus material right there.
Yeah, the Live Inspired Now coach training, just as an FYI, is open for enrollment, and it's awesome. And it teaches you how to be a life coach if you want to, but more importantly, it teaches you how to be a parent coach. It teaches you how to coach.
It teaches you how to be a good person.
Well, yeah, that too. It teaches you how to coach yourself through difficult situations. It teaches you how to coach your kids. And then if you decide to become a life coach and make a extra income or whatever,
I should say it teaches you to become a better person.
I have somebody who joined, and I always ask when people join coach training, like, why did you join? And my favorite response, and she's watching tonight, I think, is I just want to learn how not to be an asshole. So
that's a good reason.
And she's not an asshole. She's lovely.
Of course.
But anyway, so okay. Let's talk about this next. I was going to wear my headlamp. I was going to go get that, but I forgot. So as parents, we've got to become gold miners. You have got to mine for gold. Look for the good in your kid. Now, if you're only thinking, oh my God, he's failing school, or he's, not doing his homework or whatever, you're only looking at the negatives. That kid is going to feel constantly belittled and not appreciated and unloved.
Right.
Even though we know you love that kid 1,000,000,000,000%, that kid does not know it, because in America, we are a production-based society. So people only people only think that people care about them if they're producing. And let me ask you that. Do you think that your husband or your wife loves you based on what you do in the day? And
I sure hope not.
Right? Like, I hope not too, because, oh my God, there would be days, right, where I don't do crapola. But anyway, you don't love your husband because of what he does. You love him because of who he is. You love him because he's your guy,
And he's got that mustache.
And the mustache, right? And we have to remind our kids of that too. We don't love our kids because they're getting good grades. We don't love our kids because they did all their homework or their chores. We love them because they're our kids. And all that extra stuff is just learning. Like, we're teaching them how to be grown-ups. That's all parenting is. You're teaching them how to go out into the world and be healthy,
right,
and happy. You're not trying to raise this little whatever. I don't even know what. But anyway, I totally diverged there. Oh, gold miner. So, yeah, so we're going to be gold miners, right? We're looking for all the positive, and that's what we're going to... can I talk about the puffy jar?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, I'm distracted with
Oh my God, you guys, that's all right. You do your thing. This is my number one favorite thing that I did with my kids when they were younger. And we did it for a really long time. Like, you could do this still, like, up until teenagers. We just don't do it anymore. But, so this is my puffy jar.
The puffy jar.
The puffy jar. Yes, I'm saying puffy, like, P. Diddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs. Puffy, my puffy jar. And, so I actually don't have any puffies or cotton balls, but I have cotton rounds. So that will have to suffice for this demonstration. So the puffy jar is kind of like I don't like reward system, so it's not a reward system. However, it is a way to...
It's an encouragement system.
It's a way to encourage really good behavior. So the puffy jar is every time the kids do something amazing, like a random act of kindness or something really sweet, then they get a puffy in the jar. Now, pretend this is a cotton ball, not a cotton round, because the cotton rounds are flat. So get cotton balls. They get a cotton ball in the jar. So Harry opened the door for an older lady who was struggling. Harry, that was so kind. You get a puffy. Carrie went and, I don't know. She picked up change in the driveway one day and gave it to her brother and said, here, I want you to have this. Like, that was just a sweet thing. She was like 2 years old. Oh, Carrie gets a puffy, So anytime they do a random act of kindness or something that really shows their strength of character, they get a puffy in the puffy jar. And when the puffy jar is full, then they get a surprise. So we would go a lot to Disneyland. Now, don't think that that's super extravagant. We lived in California. We went to Disneyland all the time because we had a season pass. But so, when the puffy jar was full, we would maybe make a stop at Toys R Us and pick up a new toy or something like that. Nothing huge, but it was always for the kids, it was more about filling that puffy jar and doing all those acts of kindness.
Right.
Now, the puffy jar, never, ever, ever are you allowed to take a puffy out. You never acknowledge any bad behavior. You only give puffies. You never take the puffies out. Also, puffies are for acts of kindness and character traits that they've exhibited, not chores.
Right.
So if they did their chores today, they don't get a puffy. Chores are Chores are part of your household responsibilities. They're not chores. Stop calling them chores. They're household responsibilities. They're just like I have to get up every morning and make the lunches and drive.
That's your their contribution to the family. That's
Absolutely.
part of being a part of the family.
Absolutely. So those are just your family responsibilities. They're not chores. And so the puffy jar does not get chores. It only gets acts of kindness. Can I tell you, once they get an act of kindness and they get see how the puffies are going, they're going to want to start doing more good things, and they're really going to start that. So that's the puffy jar. That's like
Eileen
my
mentioned
favorite tip.
she just did that recently with her grandson.
Did what? A puffy jar?
Yeah, he did. He acted in a responsible way, and so he got a special dessert.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Very
Yay.
cool.
Yay, yay, yay. So yeah, that's really important, and it doesn't have to be a puffy jar. I mean, that's just what we did, but make a big deal, just like Eileen did, make a big deal out of it when they do something that's
Right.
really, really nice or thoughtful, because that's how you're going to encourage better behavior
Right.
that we all want to see.
And it requires you to be genuine in your making a big deal about it. So you have to recognize the importance of what they're doing and who they're growing into. And once you recognize that, then it's easy to get excited about those things.
That's right. The behaviors, that's what I care about. I don't care about their grades.
Right.
I always say, the grades, that's on them. The behavior, that's on me, mostly, And then, if they're bored at school, that's on their teacher. So, and I say that because Harry, was it second or third grade? I don't remember. Second or third grade, his teacher called me in for a parent-teacher conference. She had a very serious issue with Harry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the heck? The kid gets good grades.
People.
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, she hasn't, called me. He's not in trouble. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got to go in. So his teacher tells me that he is not paying attention in school, and that she is requesting that I get him evaluated for ADD. Because he's not paying attention, he's off in La La Land, he's drawing, little funny stick figures on his papers and stuff like that. And boy, I'll tell you what, I was hot. I was mad. So I said, and this, this is a much bigger story. I'm going to give you the brief version, but I said, how are his grades? Well, he gets A's and B's. Okay, great. That's on him. Good job. How's his behavior in class? Is he respectful? Is he polite? Is he acting out? Is he yelling? Is he jumping out of his chair? Oh, no. He's very, very sweet. He's very sweet, very nice. I'm like, okay, good behavior. That's on me. I did good. So what's the problem? Well, he's not paying attention in class. He's drifting off. I have to constantly get his attention, constantly redirect him. I'm like, that's on you. The kid's bored, okay?
Right.
He's getting A's and B's. He's polite and respectful. And you want me to go and get him tested and possibly drugged for ADD because he's not paying attention? That's ridiculous. Now, if the behavior was bad, sure, and maybe I'd understand. Or if his grades were low, sure, maybe. But I'm sorry, that's on you, teacher.
Right.
So, and again, at the beginning of this, that's why I said you have to be okay with being an asshole. Oh, 8:24. my timer guy. Yeah, so, and that's not the only time that I was an asshole to a teacher. So, I mean, you have to advocate for your kids. You're the only one that's going to, right?
Absolutely.
So let's just get through a couple more of these and then we'll break, because yeah, I know I go over, but since I do tend to talk and be long-winded, let's give everyone, because I mean, I printed out so much content from my thing. I have so much to give that I just don't have the time to do it all. So why don't we give a free consultation to anyone that's watching? So
Sure.
If you would like to have a conversation with me about some behaviors that your child is exhibiting that you want help with, or that you just maybe need somebody to listen and ask, what's some advice? What can I do? Just put your name in the comments and I'll be happy to, or actually, no, don't even do that. You can do that, but send me a private message, okay? If you're watching this outside of Facebook, then send me an email, heather@liveinspirednow.com, heather@liveinspirednow.com. So let's go through a couple more before we go, yeah?
Yeah.
So, parenting through your own emotional pain, right? We all have pain. We're humans. We all have some really tough stuff that we've gone through. It's important that we still show up for our kids, right? Absolutely. Right. We have to show up. We have to put the phone down. We have to turn the Facebook off as I'm broadcasting on Facebook, right? All of our kids are all okay right now. So parent through your own emotional pain, and that means do the work. Get through the things that you're struggling with, because I guarantee if you continue to struggle with them, your kids will too. It's called intergenerational transmission, and it means that everything that we suffer, our kids suffer as well. Every single thing.
Those are fancy words, but if you do it, they're going to do it. That's the bottom line.
Right. Because even like mental abuse is abuse, right? If a child that's abused by its parents doesn't stop loving its parents, he stops loving himself. He stops loving himself. And so you have to stop. Like, you just have to. What was that story that we heard that time on Joel Osteen? I forget, but there was a study done. Oh shoot, I can't remember the names, but if I think of it, I'll put it in the comments. But there was a study done in the late 1800s of this family that, like, so many of their people were in jail or dead. So they studied them, and the mother and father were terribly abusive, and so the generation after generation after generation were abused, ended up in jail. They were rapists and murderers, and it all went back to, as far as they could go, to that mom and dad that had this terrible relationship, that were sick, that did all these horrible things, and then generation after generation after generation paid the price.
Yeah.
Now they did a study at the same time of a well-to-do family, and it's not about money either. It's just that this family was loving, they were kind to one another, they always showed up for each other, and they gave and gave and gave. And that was generation after generation after generation of happy, healthy people. So everything that you do right now is not just for you and your kids, it's for your grandkids.
Right.
It's for your great-grandkids.
Yeah, and everything that you feed is going to grow. Everything you give attention to, that continues, and that perpetuates from generation to generation. Mm-hmm. So even if you didn't like what you got when you were a kid, you have the ability to change that.
Absolutely.
And you can pass on good things to the next generation.
And be honest, talk about your kids. Now, I don't advocate for giving all of the gory details of things, but if you've made a mistake, apologize. There's nothing more powerful than an apology from a parent that's made a bad choice. Yeah. It's a great example to set when you apologize to your kid if you make a mistake, right? And then share the stories. I share very openly all of my stories. Especially in my book. My first marriage, I was married to an alcoholic, and I talk very openly about that. Now, I don't give my kids all of the gory details, because that's none of their business, and frankly, it's not going to benefit them in any way.
Right.
However, a brief overview in hopes that they'll learn the lessons that I didn't know at that time has been exceptionally beneficial, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, one more quick thing. Will you pick? We have like 800 more things to go over. So you pick one and I'll pick one. But one of the...
Oh, this is a good one.
I was going to do this one, but I'll do this one, then you do that one, okay?
All right.
So one of the best things that you can do to empower your kids is to ask them questions. Don't tell them what to do. Ask them questions. Loads and loads of questions. How was your day? Who'd you hang out with? Hey, is your buddy coming over? Be the hub, by the way. Be the hub where all the kids come to, instead of sending your kids out to some place that you don't know who's going to be there or whatever. Total side note. But ask them lots of questions and get involved. Like, I could tell you at any particular time where my kid is, who she's hanging out with. I have her, well, I can't show you because I'm using the phone to record, but in my phone, I have her friends' phone numbers. They text me, in fact, and ask me for advice. In fact, one of Carrie's best friends, I just edited her college essay for her. I forgot to tell you about that. I know, right? Ask lots of questions. Be interested. Be interested. Don't, parents are all the time trying to be interesting. I want my kid to like me, so I'm doing funny stuff, That's cool. Be playful. But if you want your kids to really like you, be interested in what they are doing and who they're hanging with and what they like.
Ask questions.
Ask
Be
questions.
engaged.
Be engaged. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. You do yours now.
All right. So this one, just because we've always done it this way does not mean it's right. And this is a classic example. Teaching your kids to share. So we probably all grew up, oh, you've got to share. Share your toys with everyone, right? No, you don't have to. Your kids don't have to share, but teach them the consequences of not sharing. So if they don't want to share their toy, that's fine. But when kids don't want to play with them because they're not sharing, that's fine too.
Again, natural consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
right.
some things are like, valuable, and you don't want to share your favorite toy or your blankie or something, right? I don't want to share all of my stuff.
Right. What happens when you force your child to share their keepsake stuffed animal and the person they share it with throws it in the trash compactor or something? I don't know. You've destroyed that keepsake.
Right. Well, not only that, but you're not valuing what your child wants and appreciates. If they have a game and they just want to play the game by themselves, fine. That's great. Absolutely. I've never ever told my kids to share. Never once. And if I ever have grandkids, I'll never tell them either. But they should know that if they're sitting around with a bunch of other kids and they won't share or play a game with the other kids aren't going to want to hang out with them. That's a natural consequence. Allow that to happen. I'm glad you brought up that one.
Yeah.
So I want to just really quickly, because we have a billion more to go through, so we're not going to have time.
Josh said hi. Hey, Josh.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Oh, look, Dylan Hollenbeck's watching. Hey, Dylan. Haven't seen that name in a long time, huh? He was a kid at New Roots.
Right.
So in the thing, it says, do I drive him to school or do I let the bus ride toughen him up? Absolutely don't let outside influences toughen up your child, okay? Now, that's not to say that you have to intervene in everything that's happening. Kids are going to be mean. If some kid calls them ugly, so what? Tell him that's not true. So what do you care, right?
Right.
Give him the tools to deal with those things that are going to happen because they're going to happen.
Right.
Now, I let my kids ride the bus and, sometimes they'd have hard times and we'd talk about that and I'd hug them and I ask them how they feel and ask them what they think they could do. And they would come up with solutions. And if they needed my help, I would offer to help them. But if it was ever a safety issue, 100% I am intervening. I would not hesitate to drive my kids to school right now today. If, they didn't drive themselves. Carrie drives herself, but...
Right,
Now, right,
sure.
Exactly. But if I thought she was in harm's way or going to get hurt or damaged or abused in any way...
The root question is this going to cause harm to them or to others?
Right,
and if the answer to those is no, which it generally is, give them tools and techniques that they can use to handle the situation on their own.
Right, exactly. Like, sometimes just saying thank you as opposed to like getting offended. If somebody calls you ugly, just say thank you. Or, yeah, you might be right. I maybe am a little ugly today. I mean, it's funny and, just different ways there. And I won't go into them all because we have a million, right? We can give you a million different techniques to help your kids advocate for themselves if they're facing little twit bags on the bus. So do you drive or do you let them ride the bus? It's up to you. If they're in harm's way or they're going to be hurt in any way, drive them and then go and then kick some ass at the school. If you have to yell at a principal or tell a teacher off, do what you got to do, but don't let your kids get harmed in any way. Hurt feelings? Yeah, that's going to happen. Teach them how to deal with it. You're going to toughen them up emotionally and mentally so that they can deal with all the stressors in the world because there's stressors in the world, right? You want them to be you don't want them to be tough so they can take a punch. Hell no. If somebody's going to hurt them, that's not bullying. That's physical abuse. That's assault. And that you should intervene and cut that shit out for sure. But if somebody's going to call them stupid or poopy head, well, yeah, let's teach them how to deal with that because you don't want them believing that their worth or their value is equated what some jerk on the bus said. And also, it shouldn't be equated to what you think of your kid either. We want to raise kids that are self-aware, self-confident. That's self-confident, not mommy confident, not daddy confident.
Right.
We want them to love themselves, not because mommy and daddy say so or because mommy and daddy think they're great, but because they believe they are. I know I'm getting the timer again. Okay, I could totally go off for a million years on this. All right, if you want to have a consultation with me, please, it's totally free. We'll have a conversation. It will be over the phone. If you can't handle the phone, you can't handle me, okay? So I'm not going to sit and do texting. So phone call, free consultation, you got it. Just send me a private message.
And that offers from both of us, if you prefer.
If you prefer man, absolutely, 100%. You may reach out to, actually you can reach out to me and I'll schedule it with Thad too. Just say, I want Thad or I want Heather. Totally fine either way.
And we won't keep score.
No, we won't. He already wins with that mustache anyway. So reach out to me for a free consult. Heather@liveinspirednow.com. Email heather@liveinspirednow.com if you're not watching this on Facebook. And feel free to check us out online at liveinspirednowcoaching.com. liveinspirednowcoaching.com. Coach training is open. Come and learn how to coach your kids and yourself. And if you want to make an income, do that way too. All right.
Make the world a better place.
Yes. And live inspired now, right? Oh, you do that one. I'll do this one.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.